Good morning and welcome to my Monday Morning Ministry Minute. Today I wanted to touch briefly on football, and I want to talk about Tony Romo and the Dallas Cowboys. And for those of you that don't watch football, it's okay. It'll make sense in a second. Tony Romo had one of the most incredible games that a quarterback can have, one of the most incredible games of his entire life. Yet Tony Romo fell short, and he fell short again. Cowboys fans and commentators will continually talk about how when it matters most, he doesn't show up. He doesn't play well. He throws an interception. He fumbles a ball. He gets sacked for a loss of yardage. When it matters most, he just doesn't come through, whether it's in his head or what, because clearly he has a skill set. Clearly he's talented, but he doesn't finish well. And so I wanted to take that concept and that thought of finishing well and just talk to you briefly this morning about that. It is so important that we finish well. And what are we talking about? Basically, God cares about how we finish. He forgets about our past. He forgets about the mistakes that we've made, the sins that we've done, how we turned away from Him for a moment or a period of time in our life. But He looks about where we are now and how we're moving forward and how we finish this race set before us. What are we doing now that we've accepted Him in our life? What is it that we're doing as we move forward, and how are we finishing our journey of faith well? One of my favorite pieces of scripture is Hebrews 12:1-3, and it reads, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge cloud of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up. And let us run with endurance the race God has set before us. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. Because of the joy awaiting Him, He endured the cross, disregarding its shame. Now He is seated in the place of honor beside God's throne." And even though that doesn't specifically say finish the race and finish it well, it talks about that and it tells us how to do that. This verse is filled with fantastic information about how we move forward, how we finish strong, how we finish this race towards heaven, and how we get there doing it right. And God was so awesome sending Jesus. Not because of the whole fact that it, is how we can get to God and how He is able to take away our sin, but because of the example that Jesus has been for us. If we're not sure what we're supposed to do or how we're supposed to do things, we can just look towards Him, look towards His actions, towards His words. But this verse talks about, as we're working in our journey of faith, look to those that came before us. Look to those people of faith that we had been surrounded with, whether we realized it or not. Look to the example that they gave us. Look to those people that are still in our lives, and lean on them as we struggle, as we go through tough times. Don't go backwards, but continue to go forward. We want to finish well. We don't want to regress. It talks about stripping off all that extra weight of sin. Take away the things that are bad in our world, that we know, those traps that we keep falling into over and over again, those situations that we find ourselves in. Just get rid of it. Get rid of that sin in our world. And if we have a hard time with it, rely on those people of faith around us to help us get it through. Rely on God. Trust in Him. Pray about it. It talks about keeping our eyes fixed on Jesus. How better to finish a race than to look ahead towards the end, to know where we're going to go. That's what keeps me motivated when I work out, is the end result. What is it going to look like? Keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, because that's who we're going to see when this is all said and done and all over. So my encouragement for you this week is to not dwell on your past and the past mistakes. Learn from them. Don't forget where you came from, but continue to look forward to where you're going and finish the race well. I pray that you are blessed, and I will see you next week.